Hey guys, it's another video. I'm back. Hopefully you're back. Hello if you're new. So today's video is going to be on the 2019 film Knives Out. So obviously this film came out, quite recently. So this one I'll warn with the symbol somewhere, probably here or here, probably here, that says if there's spoilers. So I've got you. So if you've not seen the film, this is the Google description of it. So, the circumstances surrounding the death of crime novelist Harlan Thrombey are mysterious, but there's one thing that renowned detective Benoit Blanc knows for sure. Everyone in the wildly dysfunctional Thrombey family is a suspect. Now, Blanc must sift through a web of lies and red herrings to uncover the truth. So, this film has a star-studded cast. So it's got Daniel Craig, you've got Chris Evans, you've got Ana de Armas, you've got Jamie Lee Curtis, Toni Collette, Christopher Plummer, there's so many more, Catherine Langford, Jaden Thingy from It, and it's a very well made film, very well made film. The cast just, is like the icing on the cake for it. So according to my mum, I overhyped the film for her. So I will try and not do that in this video, but at the same time, this film does deserve the hype, so it's a very fine line that I'll be treading, but it's a very good film. The very first thing I need to say with this film is the first time I saw Knives Out in cinema, it fully took me over half the film to get used to the accent that Daniel Craig is doing in the film. It's like a southern drawl, but I was in no way, shape or form prepared for it in the way it is. But it grows on you, you get used to it, but initially it did hurt me inside, but it works. So there's that. It also does lead to a very funny joke, where Ransom Thrombey, Chris Evans' character, is like, who are you then? Like FBI, CIA, KFC? Oh, we love it. We love it. In terms of the aesthetic of this film, I'm a very big fan. It's just, it gives all the right sort of vibes for what they're trying to portray. The colour scheme, very nice, very nice. And I also love the mix of how they've sort of made it so it fits with the old school classic aesthetics, like the costume, the actual sets, some of the cars, they all fit with the classic old time black and white murder mystery type things, but they keep it modern. There's the phones going on, some of the cars are modern as well. There's security for they make it work, but they keep the roots in where murder mysteries started, and I really appreciate that. Going into the actual film, you're aware that it's a murder mystery, and I feel like going into it you could very much be in the mind frame of, oh, this has been done before, it's always really obvious or whatever. But I feel like this film gives it something else. It's just got that something else about it that makes it stand out a bit more, and it's also that bit more unpredictable. You feel like you know what's going on, but then the film is no you don't. So the first time I watched Knives Out, I was convinced I knew who done it, but then this film just says hold my hoops and throws you off again, and you're like, hang on, wait, what? And then it lures you into this false sense of security, and you're like, oh, okay, I do understand what's going on here. Okay, I get this. And then the film is like, lol, you thought, and then it's a plot twist, and you're like, what? You think you know, and then the film is like, no, you don't. You know nothing. I do love that, because it's one of those, you get really confident, you're like, yeah, I know what's going on. but you really don't. But also, not to brag, but I did get it correct with who I thought had done it. I just didn't know anything else. I just knew who, didn't know how, why, when, in what circumstance. Everything else I was just like, I have no idea, but it was them. So the varying different like people and characters and everything within just like the family, the Thrombey family, make it really for very good viewing. Like, they're sort of characters that come across as if they, in their minds, are like, we're good people, but the audience are seeing parts of them that are like, no you're not. Like, you're all a bit of dicks, you know? Other than Meg, to be fair, Meg is an ally. We do like Meg, although she does get manipulated by her family, so there is that. But out of all of them, she's the one with the kindest heart, I suppose. And with the characters of the family, it was really nice to see Chris Evans in a like different sort of character, because you think of Chris Evans and you're like, Captain America, you know, that is America's ass. But in this film, he gets to like step out of the like goody two shoes person character, and he gets to become a bit of an asshole. And honestly, the way he does it is very, very good. I'm very much here for it. I love the scene where he just tells his entire family to eat shit. He's like, eat shit, eat shit, eat shit, definitely eat shit. Like, yes. The way he just does that scene is phenomenal. You couldn't associate Captain America with Ransom Thrombey. That's... with the rest of the family as well. It is really funny to see their dynamics with each other. So in the police interviews near the start, you have one character that's like, no, you won't get me to talk badly about my sibling, and then it flips to the other interview with the sibling, and they're just like, oh my god, she's so annoying. Like, it's just funny seeing the like different loyalties of all of the characters and how that plays into the whole drama of the whole film. It's, oh, so well done. What I really, 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 really love about this film is that there are so many different little details that are so easily missed, like, in the first instance. But, like, the second time you watch them back, you're like, oh, I see what you did there. And, like, well, for some of them, they do sort of, like, go back to some of those details at the end with the big, like, this is everything that's happened. This is the like monologue that the detective does, you know, when they're like, I've solved the crime, none of you realise that I've solved it, but here's my monologuing of what happened. You do get some of the details in that bit, but for a lot of it, it's like, oh, that's really clever. Yeah, it's just like a cool thing to be able to like piece it together yourself if you notice some of the details, but also like when you watch it the next time, you're like, oh, yeah. It's good viewing every time, to be honest, because you see new details in every watch. It's great, it's fantastic. So for me, one of the details that I noticed was the dogs barking. They show that the dogs bark when Ransom's about, and I just remember being in the cinema watching it. They do a timeline of the night for the events, and at 3 AM the dogs bark, and I just remember turning to my friend and being like, that's Ransom. I had no other information to go on other than the dogs barking, and I was like, yeah, it's Ransom. And then later on they show the dogs bark when he rocks up, and I was like, oh, I've cracked it. Oh, what can I say? There's another bit as well when Marta and Ransom are, he's taken her out to that meal for a meal, and they do a shot on his face, and initially with this context of the scene, it's, oh, he's just taking in everything she's just said, like he's just processing. But then later on, it's shown that that look is actually him trying to figure out how to fix his plan. And it's just like these small little like details and the facial expressions and the way it's acted, it's just the way it all pieces together. It's like, oh, I did actually really like the character of Benoit Blanc. Like, of course, the accent initially threw me off, but the way he's like introduced, where he's just silent in the back of the room, but he'd occasionally press the piano key. What a fantastic introduction. But I also really love that he's sort of like completely disregards the actual police that he's with, because he's not actually a police officer, is he? He's a private investigator. And the way he's like, no, do you know what, I'm really good at this job, so let me just do it. But my favourite part of this film is when he's in the car. Marta's gone out to do something, and he's in the car, he's got his headphones in, and he is fully just vibing to the music, completely oblivious to the emergency services rocking up behind him, and then suddenly he clocks it and he's like, oh shit, oh my gosh. Like, that's the most relatable moment in the entire film. Like, that would be me. I also really love his spiel about the donut, when he's like, this mystery is like a donut, like the hole in the donut is what we're missing, but in fact inside the hole is another donut with a smaller donut hole. And it's like, how many times can you say the word donut in one section of speech? And he does it incredibly, to be honest. He's one of those characters where you're like, he seems a bit not all there, but it's a ploy because he is all there and he gets all the information, and oh, we love it. Also with that, Marta's character is so well done, in my opinion. Like, she's a character that's sort of within the family dynamic but actually isn't a family member, so she has none of the loyalties or anything from any of them. And I love that her character is made, like, is initially set up to be like, she actually can't lie, like she will be sick if she lies. So you've got this immediate like, oh, she fully has to tell the truth the whole time. Like, you're like, oh, like when I first saw that I was like, oh my gosh, like that's a really smart like plot device, because she when can she lie? Never, because she will immediately throw up. It's the way it's played in the film is so good. And then what makes it even more clever is the way that like it's used after the audience find out that Marta was involved with how Harlan Thrombey died. And it's just like, well, from her perspective she was involved anyway, but like the way she has to like twist the details so it's not technically a lie, and it's just like, oh, this brings something else, like this is a whole new ball game now. It's so cleverly handled, and oh, and just like with the small details and the aspects, and the ending of the film is just so satisfying. Like, it just leaves you feeling fulfilled and complete. Like, you don't really question, you don't have any lasting questions with it. And it's like, it just, the way it shows you in varying degrees how each individual member of the family is sort of like leaving the film, like how they've been left with the end of the whole investigation and the drama. And it's just the way that you can see they've fallen from their own high horses and pedestals that they've placed themselves on. And it's like, yes, do you know what? You aren't all that, because all of you just thrived on Harlan's success. And the actual last shot is just phenomenal. It's Marta on the balcony of the house, drinking out this mug that says, my house, my rules. But this mug is what makes the film full circle, because the mug is the same one we see in the very first shot of the film that's being taken up to Harlan and is the start of the whole drama. Like, it's just, we love it when a film goes full circle, and it's done so well in this instance. So that's been my thoughts, feelings, vibes on the 2019 film Knives Out. On to the bit everyone really cares about, the ratings. So I don't know if you've gathered, but I really love this film. So it's obviously getting from me, it's the vibe. It's the vibe. Because it gives you everything you could ever really want from a murder mystery. it keeps you on your toes. It lures you into false sense of like security, thinking you know what's going on, but you know, then it tells you, mate, you're getting way too big for your boots. Take a step back. And it just has its own like flair. The details, put the like detailing of it, the aesthetics, just the writing, the acting, the camera shots of it, oh, just everything. It just fulfills everything for me. And just, oh yeah, I'm here for it. And then additionally, I'm giving it just wow, because it does hit all of the right spots, like in the aesthetics, Estella, and the film, the whole dynamic. Like there's no bits where I'm like, oh, come on now. Just wow. It's like legitimately funny. Gets that. It's not a comedy, obviously, but it does have some very good funny moments, and it doesn't try too hard to be funny. I find that if it's an actual comedy, some of the humour is a bit forced. I don't really get that in this film. Others might, but I don't. Finally, it owns my soul, because I really love this film. Was excited to see it, but was a bit worried that I was only excited to see it because of who was in it. But then the writing came through, the directing came through, everything just came through for me, and it just fits. It doesn't make me go, like when I went in excited and I left excited. I thought about this film for ages after I saw it the first time, and then went to see it more times afterwards. It hits every box for me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've seen Knives Out. Let me know if you plan on watching it. It's on Amazon Prime. Watch it. I'm watching you. I'm not, don't worry. But yeah, talk to me. Let me know. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. There we go. Okay, I'll wait for the police. I did know who... That's a really loud pigeon. That pigeon is really annoying. What am I on about?